Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Chris and Tammy here, coming to you live from Toronto, Canada. As of January, we will be in Daytona Beach, Florida, in the United States. It's something that we always look forward. We've been doing this for the past 11 years, and this is all the things that we've designed. It's all part of our mindset, which brings up to our topic here today. Before I welcome everybody here, just want to give everybody a chance to mention where you are signing in from, and I'll come back to you in a sec here. Breaking the barrier, it's such an important aspect, folks. Let me just share my slides so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, here we are. Okay, so breaking the barrier mindset shifts, it's to achieve your best life. Now, Tammy and I have been working on our personal mindset for decades. And we have an enormous amount of experience on the impact of your mindset shift will give you based on the results that we've had in our lives. Your mindset is the foundation to absolutely everything you do in life, in your marriage, in your spiritual life, in your business life, your family life, the relationship you have with your significant others, your children, your siblings, whatever that may be for you. It's all based on that mindset, what you think about. And it's something that Tammy and I have been repeating ourselves for years is what you think about expands. This is a very important session we're going to be covering here today. We hope that not only you will listen to this training, but you will apply what we are going to be sharing with you. And we're not just teaching you based on having something to talk about on Saturday. This is our experiences. And we have gotten an incredible, some people think we're lucky to have what we have. It is not luck. We design our luck. I believe that there might be moments where the timing is right and you were lucky in a manner. But again, we were lucky because we created the luck. We created the environment to be prepared when this happened, when that luck happened to be in front of us, we're able to grab onto it. So before I continue, I want to welcome those of you that came in bright and early. Dr. Keowe, thank you for being here. Really appreciate you. Appreciate your leadership. You're one of those people that really understand the mindset and the shift of mindset, and really appreciate you being here from Ghana. I know right now you're in London, England. We have here Mawuko. Welcome to have you. We have Regeneration Zone Inionam from Accra, Ghana. The reason I can be specific, folks, is because Tammy and I have been in Ghana many times, and we know all the different regions of Ghana. So welcome, Inionam. Let's see here. We have global Oh, that's me. Okay. We have Mentor Saving and welcome. Great to have you here. We have Bryce. Great to have you from Australia. Beautiful parts of the world. Kim from Florida. Thank you for joining us. We have Francis from Ghana. Let's see here. We have Kay from Nigeria. Mentor, great to have you here. Let's see. We have Fortunate from Ghana. Great to have you here. We have Anna from, let's see here. Oh, okay. So you're looking, I'm not sure if you're talking for, you want this, you don't speak in English. I do understand that. What I do recommend is select the little icon, the setting icon, and just select the language that you want and activate subtitling. Let's see here. Let's see. Robert, great to have you here. Anthony, great to have you here. Randy, it's always a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for joining in. We have Mary, we have Justice, we have Shabo, and we have Gideon. Great to have you from Ghana. Great to see you here. So again, folks, back to my point in mindset. This is the foundation of everything you do. It is such an important aspect of life. And most people don't spend 2 minutes thinking about this thing, and they just kind of live their life like a leaf in the wind, right? They just kind of get bounced around based on where the wind will take you. But the thing, folks, is you have choices. And what we want to talk about when he talks about the mindset shift, these are the things we want to talk about. What are limiting beliefs? We'll cover that. What would make your life better? We'll help you kind of gauge certain things that may be happening around you that you may recognize. Letting go. This is such an important aspect, folks, is to learn to let go, to make space for for the new environment you want to create, that you're creating. We'll talk about implicit memory, things that happens throughout your life that kind of automate your behavior, right? Mindfulness, cognitive. We'll talk about that, right? In other words, to reconstruct your mindset in the way that you want to. And again, remember, that's an hour session. We're probably going to take less than that. There's not that many slides. We only have 9 slides to share with you, but each of those slides will have a topic, which is the one I'm listing right now, to give you some direction for you to work on. Our confidence in self-worth. Again, often I talk when I present where these human credibility deposit that you make every single time you do something good or you've achieved something. And we'll talk about these things and the strategies for you to recognize that so you can increase your self-worth, because it's such an important aspect. And body language, and again, is to kind of look the part, to the life that you want and not the life that you have to live. That's what we want to talk about here today, folks. God Backup, it's an incredible opportunity that we have in front of us here. The business model, the price point to get started, it gives everybody an equal opportunity to reach for the stars. But if the mindset is not in check, it doesn't matter what we put in front of you. It will not make a difference. You will always find a problem, because the problem is not the opportunity. It is the mindset, is the way you perceive things and you see things. Tammy, hold on.
I got lost a while ago.
Yeah, you
bumped
were.
out.
Yeah, I need your big. Sorry.
I
Yeah,
was
back to
waiting
you.
to
Go
see
ahead.
how long you'd see this. So what are limiting beliefs? It's about defining what they are so that you can recognize what you need to do to move forward, so that you can grow. Limiting beliefs are those mental constraints that hinder all personal growth by shaping negative perceptions of capabilities or possibilities. And so many times we've all done this throughout our life. You think, things that you've done when you were a child where you might have had a negative experience, maybe you fell, and then when you went to do it again, it's already programmed that you're afraid to move forward because something had already happened. And you think about all those things that happen throughout our life where we've failed. Many of us have gone through many failures in life, and we just went back and continued doing it. But some people over the years, they stopped doing the things that could help them move forward in their lives, just out of fear. Fear is such a negative thing that hold people back from amazing things in their lives. And I think of all the personal growth activities that have happened for myself personally in sports, in different areas, learning experiences, business itself. I've been in traditional business before I got into the network marketing space. And what I really come to learn is they're all learning experience, and to embrace it. And a lot of that limiting beliefs come from the origins of the limiting beliefs. It comes from past experiences. It comes from cultural influences, negative conditioning, ingrained deeply into our subconscious thoughts and patterns. I often talk about this. I don't know if you guys have ever heard it from me, but growing up, I was that child that had a very difficult time learning, and I still do, you guys. Like, everything I listen to, I don't absorb it right away. I have to listen to it a few times. I don't know if you're that type of person. I have to be hands-on when doing something. I can't just watch somebody do it and then just grasp it. There's certain ways that we each learn, and often people want you to learn a certain way, and then you just freeze, right? These are things that happened for me in school, with my mother. My mother was always the one that was home. My dad was always gone. He was always working, and I was that child that wasn't at the capability of learning like like my three siblings. And so that was always put on my plate. So that made me step back and not want to learn because of what my mom would say to me. So and not realizing it's not her fault. She was also brought up a certain way, right? So and unfortunately this gets embedded into who we are until we recognize it and then decide that that's not really who we are. And these are all learning experience. I finally learned how I learn, and you know, things got better and better and better, and I grew and grew and grew. Am I perfect? Absolutely not. I got a lot of personal growth to do, but it's to understand where it all comes from. Sometimes it's really deeply embedded, and sometimes you don't even recognize it. We've gone through so much personal growth to handle a lot of stuff that's happened from the past that allowed us to free ourselves. And the impact on decision making, that will also impact you on moving forward, right? So these beliefs always will restrict the decisions that you're going to make in moving forward, unless you recognize them. And that's what we really want everybody to learn today, because going into business, it's, if you've never been in business, it's not easy to be in business. Everything depends on you at the beginning, right? When we're talking about network marketing, obviously there's a team that comes together, but when you come into traditional business, it all depends on you at the beginning. So we want to spend some time and really help you recognize some of the things that might be holding you back in your business with Got Back Up. Whether it's in your prospecting or you're inviting, the way you're inviting, in the follow-up process, the whole process that's going to get you to that sale or get you to that new business partner. So, but it's all in the recognizing. You got to go back. Sometimes people avoid this stuff. And I am so grateful that we've taken the courses that we took to become who we are today, and to open up and to let go. And that's what we want to talk about.
And what as Tammy was sharing, and I was thinking of some stories and images and things that I've came across to illustrate what limiting belief looks like. Have you ever seen an elephant, around 14,000 pound animal, who is attached to a tiny little rope that is just honestly nothing to pull out and just walk away? That limiting belief is when that elephant was a tiny animal from birth, it was attached. And it remembered that when it was a young mammal, a young animal, that it couldn't move, even though it would struggle and try, and it remembered. And now it's a full-grown adult animal. And you put a tiny little string that honestly makes no difference for this animal. But the mindset has adjusted their belief that you can't break free from that. So they won't even try. Another one is you take an eagle at birth, right? And you put it along chickens. And the eagle, all these sees or she will actually be seeing chickens around them. What do you think is going to happen over time? It's going to pick and walk like a chicken, opposed to fly like an eagle, which is what it's meant to be because of its surrounding. And this is what we are often exposed to through our upbringing. Like Tammy say something, don't blame your parents, folks, because they went through the same thing. You have to break that barrier. That's what the training is all about. You have to recognize it. Once you recognize it, then you can do something about it. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of folks are having a hard time going back to the topic of building a network marketing business with Got Back Up, or having a hard time moving forward. I've seen people that have so much talent in their tiny pink, just a portion of the pinky finger, more than most people have an entire body, but they constantly self-destruct. They always justify, and they're very convincing in justifying why this is not going to work. They put all their effort and energy there, and it will unfortunately influence others with them. But the bottom line, some of us are moving up very nicely. What's the difference? We're dealing with the exact same opportunity. It is the limiting belief. So what's something that's very important as we move forward here is, what would make your life better? Well, understanding your needs, folks. Take the time to reflect on what truly makes you happy. Focus on what matters to you, not what others expect. This is one of the big challenges we face in our society today. What are others going to think? And that's the biggest challenge. Focus on what makes you truly happy. Start from there. If you want to analyze where you are and what you want, set priorities. Your align your daily action with your values, in line to what makes you happy. When you focus on what's important, it's easier to avoid a distraction and stay motivated. What a distraction? Well, our buddy, our friend, the nice relative, our siblings, whatever that may be, that tells you, oh, this is not going to work. Do this instead, or do that instead. Do you know how many people I know were on the way to having incredible success, but they were distracted by everything else around them because they have absolutely no belief in themselves, and they're not focused on what makes them happy. They're trying to live by what others are telling them they should do. And it goes back to the fact that you haven't spent the time to reflect on what really makes you happy. You're doing it for others. Set priorities, folks, and align your actions, your daily activities in line to what makes you happy. And the other thing that's very important is improve yourself immediately. FYI, right? So it's very important here is commit to the small, consistent step in learning and building relationship, in taking care of your health. This is something that Tammy and I do every single day. We're in our late 50s, early 60s, and we are still training with 20-year-olds. I am not kidding, folks. With very heavy weight, and not just heavy weight, but repetition. And we do this all the time. The reason why is because we're slowing down the aging process. It's all part of our mindset. It's all part of our goal. It's all part of aligning to the things that matters to us. It's important to make money, but it's also important to stay healthy so we can benefit from the fruit of our labor and not ending up at the hospital with all these things that we're dependent on because we didn't take care of ourselves when we had the time to do so. So again, improve yourself and your health and your skills and all the things that will make you happier in line to what makes you happy. This is how you make your life better. Stop trying to please others. I know there's a fine line with this, and I understand that sometimes we have families, we have responsibilities. I'm not saying for you to cut all that out. That is not what I'm saying. You have to use your common sense in what I'm sharing here. But at the end of the day, reflect on what makes you happy and start making changes, starting from how you feel based on what you want. Very, very important. Here's another one that's super important. Would you agree with me, Tammy?
Oh, absolutely. Letting go. Oh my gosh. Let go. So many people hold on to so many things in their lives, whether it's their personal lives or in their business. Some, they may have experiences where somebody has done something and it doesn't align with them and they just can't let it go. And it goes on and on and on. And you got to learn to let things go and not take things so personally. All right. So, because a lot of things in your life is not even personal to you. Okay. So, a lot of things that are around us and we don't realize it, and we get so attached to so many things, so many outcomes. And if you understand and you step back and you listen to what, the things that you're behaving around it, then you're going to realize that it's not serving you. Okay. And the one thing that, we always say is to let go, let God. Okay. And just do the best you can with who you are in the present moment and moving forward. And you can see letting go it means releasing situations, releasing negative feelings or any type of attachments that are holding you back from the things that you should be focused on to move forward. Okay, unleash those chains, you guys, and let go, because 2025 is very close right now. And we have the ability to make those shifts right now and get focused in the month of December to create those shifts for you. Okay, that's why we're doing this training right now, is because we want to help people realize the things that keep holding them back from the amazing business person that they're meant to be, or the amazing husband or wife that they're meant to be, or parent they're meant to be, or whatever it is that you're meant to be. Okay. And it's to be able to clear your mind from all of that stuff, let it go. You can't change the things that have happened, regardless whether you're part of it or not part of it. You can't change the things that already happened. All you can do is in the moment is to get focused on how you can make things better moving forward. Okay. And to build up that muscle, right? That emotional muscle to keep you stronger and stronger and stronger. When things like that come to you, you know how to handle things moving forward. All right. So how to let go. That's it. It's always about just forgive, you guys. Just let go of things and move forward. Okay. It sounds easier, when you're in situations that often people make so many things much bigger than they actually are. And but it's to take the time to forgive people, let it go. You can't change things that have happened, whether it's in the business, within the team, things that are going on, people who have left, went for another company. That's happened to me a few times. It just in the last few months. Let it go. There's nothing you can do. You just let go. Maybe they'll see that it's not greener on the other side and they'll make a decision to come back. These are people who had never even left they didn't cancel. They're just kind of moving on, and we'll see if it's greener over here kind of thing, right? But things like this happen, and don't get emotionally attached to it. You need to continue moving forward always, always. Don't get hung up on people or things. You need to stay focused on the goal and helping the people who are willing to do the work with you. And so why it matters, because it's going to give you a lot of peace. That's got to be the big thing. It's going to strengthen your relationships a lot when you start letting go of situations. It's going to open up space for new growth, for new opportunities, for new people coming into your business, for personal growth. We are all on a personal growth journey. And the fun thing is we get to do it together, and we learn a ton from each other. Just in the comments, I'm so grateful that you guys put stuff in the comments, because we all have so much value to give and to share with others, that sometimes that one thing that somebody else has said based on what they're listening to, that's added value, that made a significant switch in somebody's mind in moving forward. How many times has that happened to you at a seminar, or in a virtual course, that the light bulb went on finally, and you just let go and move forward, and lots of things happen. That's happened so much for Chris and I. So we just want you to realize that you got to let go of a lot of the attachments that are holding you back from the things that you desire moving forward in 2025, And in 5 years from now, and 10 years from now, it's time, you guys. It's time.
I totally agree, Tammy. Just imagine yourself carrying a huge backpack with bricks in it, and you have another bag on your left side and another bag on your right side, and you've been carrying this for years and years and years and years and years. And the reality is, it's serving you. Is it serving your purpose? That's all we're saying. Let go of the things that weigh you down, that are getting in the way of the new stuff that you're trying to create, that you're coming across to make space. Which brings us to this topic of implicit memory. What is it? Well, implicit memory is like your brain on autopilot. It's habits, reflex skills that you don't have to think about. It's automatic. It's just there. How it affects you? Well, it shapes your automatic response and choices. So, in fact, it's often you're not even aware of this. And this is something that's important. Why it matters? Well, understanding the unconscious, patterns that we have, and it's to recognize the change in the habits that are making us behave in a certain way, that are keeping us exactly where we are today. And every time you're trying to make a change, things seems to be going back to the way things were. That has a lot to do with your behavior, your automatic response. When you look at a new opportunity, what is your response towards it? How do you behave towards it? And that's what you need to reflect on. Is it possible that you're reflecting on what you've always been doing, maybe dismissing it? Or, and again, it's important to have these guards, because you don't want to sign up with everything. You don't want to jump ship on everything, because I'm telling you, at one point, you'll get distracted. You'll get no results, right? It's what's important here is for you to recognize the patterns that keeps you where you are. And a lot of those patterns might be awesome because maybe you've achieved in certain aspect of your life, but in other aspect of your life, maybe you have not. Focus on those areas. What are your responses that keeps you exactly where you are? And how you move forward from that is to create new habits. There is a saying that it takes about 23 days. Again, folks, that's just I don't know where this came up from, but I've noticed that when I repeat something for several weeks, I tend to stick with it. For example, training in the morning, folks, it is not fun until you make a habit of it. Then it becomes an automatic response. But it took about a good, I would say, 2 to 3 weeks, which is about 21 days, for me to stick around and to stick with the program. So what's important here is, once you start a new habit or start recognizing a new pattern, something new you're learning, if you want to retain what you're learning, you have to practice it. And you have to remind yourself to do it on a regular basis for a sequence of time, for a period of time, which 21 to 23 days, about 3 weeks. Put that into practice if you're starting something new. Some of you maybe wants to lose weight for whatever that reason is. Maybe you're very happy where you are, and that's totally fine. Some of us want to lose weight. As we age, your metabolism slows down. As your metabolism slows down, whatever you do becomes a whole lot worse. And we know that if you go to the grocery store and you buy anything in the middle aisles, you know you're poisoning yourself. You know there's garbage, but it's a habit. I have to admit, I love sugar. Sugar is the worst poison for the human body, but it's a silent, slow killer. So I have to control my habits around that. So I have to get into a habit of not touching this. I'm just giving you an example. I want to build my business, but nobody's coming into my business. What do you need to change? The habit of talking to people and introducing the idea of looking at a link based on a service that we provide to protect your precious memories from your device. Get into a habit to talk to people about this. Some will refuse. Some will say, I don't need this. Some will tell you all sort of reason. That's okay. Don't worry about these folks. Focus on the ones that may say, you know what? 6 terabytes for the price of 2? Cool. I'm interested in that. Sooner or later, you will come across someone who's interested. But get into a habit of talking to people if you want to sponsor new people. It's just not going to come from the sky and jump into your downline. Some of them may, but if you build your life on that, folks, it'll be difficult to build a solid organization that will justify an income. And stay focused. Again, maybe your habit is you easily get distracted by the shiny new thing that's being presented to you because it's new, you don't know about it, it looks interesting, it looks exciting, and boom, you get there. And then you walk away from what you started, which could have been an incredible opportunity for you. I'm just giving you some example, real life example of implicit memory, the behavior of what gets you to do what you do. So you need to recognize those patterns. And as you recognize those patterns, then you move forward in making the changes where it's appropriate in line to what makes you happy. That's what's important. Tammy and I found God Backup. We love the God Backup executive team. They are wonderful people. They really do care. And they constantly thrive to improve as we are seeing. So what's going to happen, folks, is we are continuing our journey. We're very, very excited about the future, the vision of where we're going with this. So I'm constantly brushing up what's in my mind and feeding what matters, what's important to us.
So mindfulness and cognitive reconstruction, that's what it's all about, restructuring your thoughts when you're in situations. And the best way to do that is to pay attention in the present moment. Try and be in the present moment as often as you can, because it's so easy to go into the past and go into fear. And or into the future, which is also fear because you're not unknown, right? It's the unknown. But when you're in the present moment, this is when you have all of your control. This is when you make the best decisions moving forward. And you're going to have that talk that's going to go on when you decide in the present moment what you want to achieve. Like, for example, if I would say right now that my goal is to make $100,000 a week, then that left brain will start saying as if, right? So you guys get what I'm talking about. And the emotional side of the brain will start questioning whether I could or not. So you constantly have the battle within, plus you have the battle with the people on the outside, right? So the key is when you're in the present moment, you get to shut all of this up, and you get to say, no, this is where I'm going and I'm going to achieve it. And here's what it's going to look like when I have the result. And that emotional connection that you have with that thought is what's going to attract you to anything that you desire. Chris and I have been living this for so long, and it took us a long time to figure this out. Courses and all kinds of stuff to learn to be present and to make the decisions in the present moment, knowing what our goals are. And that's what you got to be constantly practicing. All right. And changing those thoughts in the moment when things start to pull you again to the past or keep you in fear. That's when you say, no, this is it. This is where I'm going. And you stay focused on doing it. And the moment you start doing this, you start recognizing some really good things that are going to come into your life, little things that are going to happen that's going to validate where you are and moving forward. right? So you just got to practice it. You got to be in the moment doing this. Chris and I, like I said, we've been doing this a long time. And there's many times in the day that you're going to have situations because somebody said something to you that's going to pull you back. No, don't let it. Let's say, for example, you've got a list of 20 people that you need to call. Okay. And then you go through maybe 4 or 5 of them, and then one of them just knocked you off your feet. Do you stop doing the list? No. No, you brush it off, love them where they're at. Maybe later they may come around, but you know where you're going. And your goal is to sign up 5 people. So that's where you need to spend your time, is focusing on where you're going in all of this. Because the prospecting, you're going to meet so many personalities that can play with your head. And you just got to stay focused on the goal. You need to set intentions on what you are attracting into your life, and be in the moment with all of this, you guys, because they're going to come. And if you're not in the moment, you're going to miss opportunities like crazy. So if you start practicing this now, imagine how great you're going to be in 2025 moving forward. So why it all works together, using mindfulness and positive thinking together reduces stress, of course. It helps you manage emotions, absolutely. And it boosts your mental health. It really does. It really does. And it just gives you this charge inside that you know that you're on the right path, that you know it's possible for you. Everything is possible for you if you just go get it. And that's what it's all about. And if you constantly work on this, it becomes so natural for you. Will you get setbacks? Absolutely. But you know what? In those setbacks, you're going to catch it right away because you've been practicing mindfulness and making decisions to stay in the moment and staying focused on your true self and your goals, and not letting anybody take you off that path, no matter what.
Dead on. Absolutely dead on. So, confidence and self-worth. Let's cover this a little bit. What is self-worth? Well, your self-worth is about valuing yourself. And this is something that we need to really focus on. Don't worry about what others think, because it might deviate you from your path in shaking your own confidence. What's very important is, how do we build confidence? Well, it comes from, first of all, accepting yourself. Accept yourself. Stop judging yourself from these beautiful little models that we see online that are modified, that are not real, but unfortunately our society believes all of that stuff. And we constantly second guess ourselves and judge ourselves based on marketing appearances. What's very important, folks, is you need to accept yourself. Learn new skills. Read more books instead of sitting in front of Netflix. Do you understand what I'm saying? Read more books instead of watching TV. We're all guilty of that. So the fact here is, you need to always shape up on your learning skills so you can evolve. Learn from, if you're going to watch something, try to find biographies, stories of incredible people of our time, even before you were born, and learn of the struggles, but not just struggles, but how they overcame the struggles to become where they are today. I mean, have you ever read the story of Sylvester Stallone and what he went through? I know for some of you might be older actors, but most of us do remember. I mean, Madonna, what she went through, that woman, before she had the success that she had. I'm not talking about the bad news and the bad press that we hear. Everybody who is on the top of their game that we see on TV, that we see on the news, they have done something to work to be where they are. And the thing is, it's constantly working on your personal growth, facing challenges, not fear and crumble, but face the challenges, face front end, grab the bull by the horn, a matter of speaking, and learn from your mistakes. And every time you get success, celebrate. This is why oftentimes we talk about, and every time you have a personal that reaches a level, a new pin level, a new rank with God backup, celebrate it. We need that. Humans need that. Babies cry for attention. Adults die for attention. It never goes away. It's a human trait and we need it. It feeds the ego. Now, I understand that sometimes people look at ego as a bad thing, but at the end of the day, folks, it's all part of self-worth. And what I'm saying here is what you need to do is celebrate the successes that you have. Because when you do that, you're acknowledging and in the audience of others, which feeds you this positive reinforcement. I call it human credibility deposit. And the more of that you get, the more of that you will, think of it like a bank account and money. I think everybody can relate to that one. The more money you got in your bank, the more leverage you will have with that money. Now forget the money for a moment and let's refocus on your credibility, your belief in yourself. It works exactly the same way. Every time you make deposits because you've done something good, you are acknowledging that, and it's increasing your posture, which increasing your own belief in yourself. This is the reason why you got to have some people on stage or training, and they're very convincing and persuasive. It's because their self-belief is strong and it's impacting you. But that didn't just come in because they're on stage. They have done steps over time that got them there, if you understand my meaning. So how did it all work together? Well, confidence and self-worth goes hand in hand, on hand. Building your strength is going to happen as you start, as I stated earlier, getting successes. And that will give you the resilience as you go through challenges. You know, we saw often, I don't know if you saw that post where you have that lion that looks like an incredible king, looks phenomenal in front of his peers. And you go behind it and there's knives and arrows and all of these things on his back. Or you have the person that stand on the top of the stairs and everybody looks at that person as how lucky and how wonderful they look. And behind the other side, there's like 1,000 broken pieces of plates. And you understand my meaning? Nobody stands on top without going through the challenges to get there. But often you're not going to see the challenges. You're just going to see the results. Learn from these people so you can embed that information towards your life. So self-confidence and self-worth, it will occur to you as you start acknowledging and accepting who you are and not trying to always change because others are expecting you to be that person or look to that way or whatever that may be. If you're going to lose weight, do it for you, not for others. Otherwise, it won't matter. If you do it for others, the moment these people are gone, you're going to start eating again and going back to where you were. If you want to have money and be successful, do what the successful people do. What do? They're constantly network and talk to people. They constantly get in front of an audience. Tammy and I have done some trainings that we're going to be releasing very soon, which is completely free, the Success Cycle series. And it's designed to help people grow and succeed. And it's free. We're paying it forward. This industry have done so much for us. Folks, all you need to do is accept who you are. And of course, you need to increase your skills, improve your skills so you can become bigger and better and better and better. Figure speech. Because what happens is if you come across a leader, but you're not measuring to that leader, it's very difficult to recruit a person like that. But if you move up into your belief and your posture in the way you say, when you come across that leader, they'll be honored to work with you. This is how this works. You don't sign up as CEO of a company into your company if you happen to be a whatever. I don't want to give a, I don't want to belittle jobs here, but my point in saying is that if you have not acquired the skills to be in a position of managing and running the show, it's difficult to run someone that's going to run the show, which when you find people like that, we call them influencers. When you put an influencer like that into your business explodes exponentially. That's how you grow an empire. But you need to work on yourself. Very, very, very important. Last slide, Tammy.
Yeah, we can share this slide too, Chris, because we both have learned a lot from this. I know you came from the job world and had the suits and ties and stuff like that. And when I came into the network marketing world, I didn't have that dress for success. I was a swimsuit designer. I owned a manufacturing company. I was in front of fabric and designing patterns and just using my creativity to build my successful business. And then of course I hired the right people to be in front. And the thing is, you come into network marketing and you realize that you got to learn some of this stuff and body language, how to interact, how you want people to see you, dressing for success. When you're out, you want to make sure you're very presentable and you have the body language of somebody who knows where they're going. Because people are searching for that, you guys. This is so important. People are searching for people to lead them. There's not enough leaders in the world today. That's why Chris and I are always looking for the people within the organization to have what it takes to lead, so that we can mentor them at different levels as well. So body language and dressing for the life that you want is absolutely critical. And I don't like the word fake it till you make it. Just be your best self, you guys, right? Be your best self. People are searching for you. And how you stand, how you move, how you make eye contact, very important. If you keep looking around and you're not connecting with that person, people can read that very easily. You got to connect with people. You got to be engaged and be interested. Not interesting. They will think you're interesting when you're interested in them. Okay. So, it's all about, bringing value to people and being competent in others and just putting it all together. People know whether they want to follow you or not, just on the way you speak, on the way you interact with them. And all of this, you guys, is practice. If you're not prospecting with people on a regular basis, you're not going to learn all of this stuff. But if you're out there and just think of it as practice, okay? If that's what you have to tell yourself, then think of it as practice. You're going out there to practice, to connect with people, bring value to people, get better eye contact, whether you're on Zoom, whether you're, any type of video format, you're connecting with people, and people can read your body language just as easily as when they're just talking to you on a phone call. They can read your body language, because if you're passionate and you're excited and you share vision with them of where you're going and what's happening, nobody wants to be left behind. Nobody. So when you have that inside, then people will be drawn to you. Okay. And maybe, Chris, you can add some value on the dressing for success. And
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is something that's really important, folks. Have you ever noticed that if you're happy to be going out for whatever reason, maybe your significant other, or maybe you're just going out to a party, whatever, the holidays are coming, right? Christmas is coming. And at the end of the day, we want to look our best. And have you noticed that if you go do your hair, you bought this new dress or this awesome suit, and you just like a $1,000,000. Okay. That feeling that you get when you look at yourself in the mirror before you leave. That's what I'm talking about. But when you dress for success, it impacts your behavior. It impacts the way you feel. And it goes back to the point about that I covered about confidence and self-worth. And it's very important, even if you're not maybe mentally ready. These are all the things that are the stepping stone that are going to get you to improve the way you feel about yourself. Tammy talked about the body language. This is what I meant earlier by these human credibility deposits. If you've done enough of those, eventually when you speak to an audience or anybody, or you're trying to speak to, like I use example of a CEO, someone as, that's higher stature in life, and you try to bring them on board. Well, that body language will reflect in the way you speak to this person based on the confidence you have. And if you share doubts, or if you have doubts and even without sharing it, it will come across in the words or how you say the words. I'm telling you, mindset is so important, folks. What you think about, what you focus on is so important. Do not underestimate that at all, because it will define your life for the rest of your life. Understand that if things have not gone the way you want in your life, don't associate with the past after this session here today, because you can have a clean slate, but you are in control. We can't tell you to feel that way. You have to feel that way based on your own belief. And dressing for success, I'm telling you, makes a world of difference. Maybe your daily appearance it reflects your past. Change that. Go get a new haircut. Color your hair, whatever this may be. I'm not telling you. I'm giving you some ideas to start creating some changes, and stick around with those changes. Don't go back to the way things were. You are moving on. You're detaching yourself from the way things used to be. You're moving into the new you. People will notice, and they'll ask you, "What are you doing? You're looking fantastic lately." Well, one of the reasons is I came across a venture that has completely changed my perspective on how I see my financial future. That's a good line, guys. You can use that one to any prospect. So, but this all comes back to the way you feel about yourself. Okay. And the fact is, read about motivation. Watch, like I said earlier, movies. There's so many movies. There's so many documentaries on Netflix. Don't focus so much on the negative. Focus on the positive. People have done amazing things. Not the drama about killings and people doing this and that. I'm talking about positive reinforcement. People who have made changes. I mean, if you read the story, it's unfortunate how Nikola Tesla ended his life based on the things that were done to him. But what this guy has done, it's the reason why we have internet. It's the reason why we have Wi-Fi. It's the reason we have television. There's so many things. The cellular technology, it all came from his foundings. I mean, there's so much we can learn from people like that. That's been hidden by, whatever. The fact here is, my example is, find some environment for you to feed your soul, to feed yourself. It could be also spiritually. I know that we have different people with different beliefs here, so I'm trying to stay really neutral for the sake of everybody here. But at the end of the day, it's not about me. It's not about what I'm thinking. It's about what you're thinking, what matters to you, what's important to you. So you want to kind of look the part, and that's what this slide represents. And I ended with this slide because all the other segments that we've covered today are segments that are going to be reflecting that slide. Your body language, It speaks so much louder than the words that you're going to say. I'm not kidding. The way you look at the person when you speak to them. So you try to bring influencer into your business. Well, here's a clue for you right now, if you're not there yet. Remember the training that we did on third-party credibility? Leverage that. Leverage the power of someone else who may have reached that level of success to complement your message to that influencer to bring them on board. Do you know how many times we've been able to bring people like that for you? Because I have no doubt that Got Back Up will become one of those companies that can create a lot of very successful people. I don't want to put monetary amounts here because I know there's always some rules and regulations we need to follow here. But my point here, folks, is I truly believe. Why is that? It's because we have something that is so cost effective and we have a service that is so massively needed. The potential is endless. And then we have a compensation that if you really understand it, the folks that don't understand, I can appreciate sometimes, some people may have a negative point of view, and that's okay. But I'm telling you that 99% of that, it's a lack of understanding. Because this plan works in conjunction with a company's profitability. The more profitable this company is, the more people it can pay. And then the more you qualify to help others rank up the rank, the more your rank will increase. The more of that profit you will be able to bring into your wallet, if you understand my meaning. All of that comes from body language. So back to the third-party credibility, we've done some trainings on those. Go back to those. If you go to the Got Back Up YouTube channel, the GVO YouTube channel, okay, Global Opportunity, just find the playlist on Success Cycle Series and go and listen to third-party credibility and following up. These two modules. You can even go to inviting. I mean, they're all there. And these are going to be the tools that you can use right now if you're not at that level to bring a CEO into your business. That's how you overcome this.
Chris, if I can add, I wanted to share a story that I had when I was fairly new in growing this business, because I didn't have the suits and the posture. I ended up getting all of that, of course. But I took a lot of courses to understand how to connect with people and all of this stuff. And I don't know if anybody knows T. Harv Eker, the Secrets of a Millionaire Mind. Is that what it was called, Chris?
Yeah.
It's been a while since I read that.
We read this years ago.
Yeah, there was many courses that Chris and I took through that gentleman. And the one challenge that I had was talking to successful people. That was a big thing, specifically for me, men. So I don't know if any of you women feel this way, but I finally got a coach, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to get a male coach so I can get his point of view on all of this. And the one takeaway that I got from that, everybody, is they're just people. It just hit me over the head like a brick. They're just people. They have desires just like you. They have pain just like you. You know, they go through everything that you're going through, and it's behind the suit. So it really hit me. So I started to get really comfortable, and I made it my mission to go out and talk to men. And I started to bring a lot more men into my business. So that was such a wake-up call for me. And you guys have to understand that. Don't get intimidated. They're just people, just like you, that have, built careers or whatever they've done, but they're just like you. Okay, so start talking to people that you desire to bring into the business, what I like to do is write down the key what I would like to attract into my business. What kind of people do I want to attract into my business? Okay, start writing that down. Making examples, somebody who leads easily, an influencer, somebody who connects easily with people. Like, write all these things down of all the personality types that you would like to attract into your business. And guess what's going to start happening for you if you focused on that? If that's what you focus on every single day, what's going to happen? They're going to start showing up in the elevator, even at the grocery store, when you're standing right beside them in the line having a conversation. They're going to show up in your life. So what you put out there always comes back. Yeah, you need to understand that. That's why this training is so important. You know, I know we're not talking about the business building activities, but this is what's going to solidify your posture to go out there and attract anything you desire into your life.
I totally agree, Tammy. And as we end here, folks, an observation that I've done over the years, when I look at teams, and I can testify to this looking at the organization that we have, I would say that over 70% of members are women. That means 30% are men. But when you look at top income earners, we always seem to see the men. How can 30% of the men are always the top income earners? Let me tell you why. It has to do with something that we talked about from the upbringing of the past. And that has to change.
Mm-hmm.
That has to change. And ladies, it's very important that you accept that you're entitled. You're entitled to earn exactly, if not more, than what man earns. But you have to start working on your blueprint from the way you were raised. Very important. I love to see top women income earners, because the reality is, if 70% of women are in the genealogy and you start having women top income, do you know what that's going to be influencing? Massive, 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 massive growth momentum. So very important, ladies, you got to rise to the top, because you got everything it takes. It's in the mindset. Goes back to the reason why we did this training today. We can teach you everything we need to teach in reference to how to build a business, how to bring these people in, and all of these things. But if your core belief is not there, it'll be difficult, because the biggest obstacle, it's not the outside world, it's you. You need to work on your belief that you are there. Not, I'm going to get there. I am there. I'm working towards that goal now. That's the shift that we're talking about today. So, folks, listen, we want to thank you for being part of this session. I really recommend, folks, as one step forward from that point on, attend the presentations of your leaders. They are amazing presentation, different languages. You are in all these WhatsApp groups. Don't just be a passenger, folks. Be a driver. Attend the events. The Wednesday event with Joel Theriault, our CEO, I recommend you attend, because he's always going to share some insights. There's a brand new app that was introduced to back up your computer in a fraction of the time. If you didn't see the training from last Saturday, I highly recommend for you to go see. If you go to the playlist on Saturday trainings, you'll find it right there. It has like an orange flyer. You'll see it on the thumbnail of the video. But attend these presentations regularly. If you show up alone, you learn. If you show up with your team, you earn while you learn. This came from Joel Theriault about 13, 14, it's years ago.
Years, Chris, before that. Yeah.
Years ago, 20 some years. I think you're right, Tammy.
Yeah.
I've been, this is something that I've been adding in the bottom of my emails that came from his email. This is when I met him. So we're in very good hand here, folks. Have yourself a wonderful rest of your weekend. For those of you that are celebrating Thanksgiving weekend, by all means, I know in the United States, it's Thanksgiving, I think was on Thursday, but I know that it's Thanksgiving weekend where all the families are going to come together. Maybe some of you was last night, some of you is tonight. Enjoy yourselves. And let's start on Monday strong. And folks, this is a great opportunity. Let's move forward. Let's go tell the world. Have yourself a wonderful rest of your weekend, and bye for now.